Good morning, Panthers. Today's date is Wednesday, May 31st.
In today's show, we will be featuring a video on teacher appreciation.
And a senior parade.
I'm Zach.
I'm Tori.
And this is
GEMS TV. The yearbook signing party is this Thursday. Be the first to pick up your yearbook after school this Thursday at our signing party, which will feature photo booth, music, snacks, and drinks for sale, and Dave's Dog's food truck. You must have a book reserved to attend the party. If you still need to buy a book, swing by the office with $60 cash or order one online at jostlinyearbooks.com.
Our yearbook signing party is tomorrow, but there are some important things that you need to know. Books will be passed out right after school in the Spirit Center, and we will have a photo booth, music, food and drinks, and a food truck at the party. Make sure to bring cash. Only students that have a reserved yearbook can attend the party, and you do not need your invitation to attend.
You can still buy a yearbook in the office for $60 cash or online at jostlinsyearbook.com. You can also bring cash to the signing party and buy one there. If you do not show up to the party, your book will be passed out on June 2nd. We hope to see you Thursday after school.
Use your Panther books now and go shopping at the student store. Don't hold on to them because we will not be using the paper books next year. We are going digital.
The class of 2023 came back to see GEMS. Here are some highlights.
What was your favorite part of high school?
My favorite part of high school is probably showing through FFA and going through the whole process, being on the officer team, having all that experience throughout FFA from beginning of freshman year to end of senior year.
What is your favorite part of high school?
I think my favorite part of high school was learning how to weld. They give you it's a welding class at Lincoln you could take, teach you how to weld, a bunch of hard skills like that. I got to learn how to operate equipment. I got to learn how to do a bunch of stuff like real world stuff for the trades, stuff like that. But that was my favorite part.
What are you looking forward to coming out of high school?
I'm mostly looking forward to having an actual real world experience and also being able to get out there more and not be stuck in something just because I have to do it.
What are your plans after high school?
I'm going to Sierra College. I'm going to major in construction management and then hopefully work for a company, construction company out of high school. But yeah, that's it. That's the plans for me.
How do you feel about graduating?
It's a little scary. You're going out of the real world, but it's kind of fun at the same time. You're leaving high school, get to go out on your own. Just as long as you have everything in place, your plan's set. You know where you're going pretty much. But yeah.
All library books are due on Friday, June 2nd. Check your student email for library notices. 6th grader Chromebook and charger returns will be on June 5th during language arts class. Please check that your Chromebook has the WP USD barcode sticker on the back. If the sticker is missing, stop by the library before June 5th to get a replacement sticker.
We are extending the student store hours. If you have bucks to spend, do so Monday, June 5th at the student store.
Which class has the most spirit? This year it's 6th grade. They earned a total of 1,638 points. All of 6th grade will be rewarded with a Spirit Day on Friday, beginning after lunch. Be sure to take your movie survey during PAW today. More details to follow.
Here is the latest teacher appreciation.
Congratulations, Mr. Noonan. The students voted you as a teacher who has motivated or encouraged them. We're so fortunate to have a teacher like you on campus. Congratulations, Ms. Sanchez. The students voted you as a staff member who has motivated or encouraged them. We're so fortunate to have a person like you on campus.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready to pass, set, spike? We need all girls interested in trying out for fall volleyball to attend an informational meeting after school today. Room A1 from 3 to 3:20 p.m.
And we'll leave you with a short documentary on Gladys McBean. Have a great day, Panthers!
Long before the days of the highways and airplanes, there was one mode of transportation that reigned supreme: trains. These old steam trains required expensive, long lengths of track to travel. In California, one of the most important train lines was the California Central Rail Line. In 1861, this track was completed only up to the point of Lincoln, California before they ran out of funds, which led to Lincoln being the end of this railroad right here. Settlers rushed into Lincoln, quickly bringing it from a small settlement to a boom town. A few years later, the railroad was extended to Wheatland, bringing much of Lincoln's fame with it. But that was not the end of Lincoln, for it was here that a large clay deposit was located, leading to the establishment of Gladding McBean, the large company that remains the heart of Lincoln to this day. Built in the center of downtown, this massive facility spans multiple blocks. As you drive past these old buildings, you may look and see what appears to be an unused, no longer working facility. But behind the facade of abandonment, the company is still very, very active.
So we decided to come into Gladding McBean to finally see what this whole place is all about. Alright.
We first started by entering the gates, signing a waiver, and meeting our guide Luis for the day. There's two parts of the factory, the clay pipe side and the terracotta side. Luis first visited the terracotta side. Here's how it works. A company will send in either pictures, designs, or an actual terracotta broken piece to Gladding McBean.
So this is just a sample. This is what we get from the building that they're replacing, and we have to duplicate them.
They then create or recreate the piece perfectly and send it back. Different parts have different processes. One way the part is made is the profile is cut out of tin. The terracotta is then moved through this trace mold to make the general shape.
So this is Jesse Cardenas. He's retired. He's helping us out, and we appreciate his help. So what he's doing right here is making what we call the profile. So it's the side of the piece, and this is the shape that he's gonna have. So Jesse is cutting them out, and you can see that the precision that he has to do it, because once he gets out, the piece is fired into the job site, it's got to be within a 1/16th of an inch.
Interesting.
Of the specifications. So he's cutting the profile right now. This is like looking at the piece from the side, so that's what it's gonna look like.
Other parts are formed into plaster molds.
And this is Liliana. She's working on pouring her sidewalls. In the beginning, it's always the end walls. They're the shorter one, and then from there we go to the side walls. And the end is what we call the face, or the top of the piece. You got to be real careful with is the consistency of our plaster. Is the consistency. So, because the purpose of the plaster when it goes through that pressing side is that it sucks up the water from the clay. So if the suction of the clay is not consistent, the suction of the water from the clay is not consistent, then we have warpage on the pieces. We have different, So that's one of the things that she's got to be careful with, having her consistency perfect every time she mixes it. And it's all by feel. It's all by feel. It's got to be feeling kind of creamy, like milky creamy, like yeah. So that's the secret. So yeah. So what they do is they get some clay. This kind of dry, but just to give you an idea. And they get enough so they can build up the first bottom piece. They slam it, and then they push it until it covers the whole piece. And then they do the same thing for the sides. They do the same thing. And we have to stay within a thickness of about 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 inches. No more than that. For the same thing, that consistency.
Yeah.
If we have thick parts and thin parts, that thin parts are going to dry faster. And when the other ones try to catch up, the piece will crack.
After the general forming process, the parts, details, and other shapes not made by the forming process are made. Tools like this rake are used to make very accurate lines. All the lines in the final parts have to be perfectly straight, with edges aligned exactly how they are required, since many of these parts are expected to fit into already existing spaces.
And this is Miguel, so he's got a little bit of a more intricate piece. So what he's got to make sure right now, he's finishing it up, and you can see how smooth he's leaving it, super smooth. And not only that, his lines, nice and straight and sharp.
Once the pieces have been formed and the small details have been finely tuned, the pieces are moved to one of many large drying rooms. These rooms consist of heaters that blow hot air over the pieces for a very long time. Once these pieces are nice and dry, they are now ready to be glazed.
We have a guy, or depending on the size of the piece, we can have one guy, two guys loading them on the carousel. And you can see that these pieces were taped. So that's where the glaze is gonna go. From here up, it's gonna be finished. From there to the bottom, we don't have to glaze it. It's not gonna show. It's gonna be tucked into the building.
Last step of the creation of terracotta pieces is the firing. The pieces are moved to one of many kilns. There are two types of kilns at Gladys McBean. The one we saw were beehive kilns. These large dome-shaped kilns can sit at upwards of 1900 degrees for months at a time.
What they were looking at are those things below the pipe. You see that? Yeah. So what this thing does is the forklift will bring in the pipe, they'll hook them up from the bell, and they set them on each burner. That's in between the burners. Okay. And they'll lift it up and put another section of rings next to them and build up there. And from there, they build up another section on top. Full all the way up to the top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The large smokestacks you see on the outside of Gladys McBean are actually the exhaust from these kilns. And believe it or not, while there may not be smoke, they are often running. Once the pieces are done firing, they're ready to be packaged and shipped.
They inspect it, they repair whatever little things we need to repair.
Yeah.
Something little cosmetic.
Yeah.
And then they box them up. But this is how.
But that's only half the factory. The other half of the factory creates clay pipes. They create pipes of all sizes and ranges and all types. Clay pipes are known for their longevity, durability, and low maintenance cost. The first step of creating clay pipes is extrusion. The operator of this machine raises the platform, uses it to create the bell, and then creates the actual pipe itself and sends it on its way.
He's the one that runs our press. So and you can see how modern. That's his chair, and those are his levers.
Wow.
So yeah, and then the clay will come from the top, and
it kind of pulls down.
And this will form the bell. So he'll just let it set for tomorrow, get prepared for tomorrow, and they'll start doing it right away.
So the clay just kind of.
The second step is its move to one of many drying rooms. I spoke about these earlier, but there are many, many in this facility. These rooms get hot during the summer, but they can never turn off the heaters. The system just keeps going. Finally, once the pipe has been dried, they're stacked around the edges of the beehive kilns. These pipes line the entire kiln, going up to the top. Throughout the process, you may have noticed many of byproducts, bits of clay and bits of terracotta that are just left over. But these parts don't go to waste. In fact, they recycle almost every piece of clay they don't use. Those big piles of clay and other debris you see while driving past Gladys McBean aren't just random unused piles. That's clay, ready to be recycled and reused over and over again. Gladys McBean's clay doesn't come from very far either. Just up the road is a mine, where they mine all of the clay used in Gladys McBean. One was quoted in saying that there's approximately 400 years left of clay in Gladys McBean's mines. If you subtract when that quote was said, there's still 300 years of clay left. Gladys McBean does not plan to stop operations soon. Almost every part of creating terracotta, clay pipes, and everything else they create in Gladys McBean is entirely manual. For over 100 years, Gladys McBean has been in operation, and for those same over 100 years, they have been the backbone of Lincoln and a major progressor in our history and hopefully in our future. It's unfortunate how little recognition they get, for they are such an amazing place full of amazing people, and we are very, very glad we got to view the facility. This process hasn't changed much in over 100 years, and still remains as primarily human-driven. Every paste they make is made with utmost delicacy, care, and precision that could only come from well-trained, well-perfected people. The amount of precision required to create these parts is insane, and the fact that they manage to do it over and over is just truly phenomenal. We would like to thank Mr. Becerra for being the best guide we could have ever asked for, and answering every single question we had. He showed us so much, and we are very, very thankful for him. We would also like to thank Mr. Modolo for being nothing but helpful in setting up and viewing the facilities. Lastly, we would like to thank the people of Gladding McBean. They are truly a phenomenal group of people, and were nothing but kind and generous to us in helping us create this documentary, and in just being nice people.
The company's like family, from the top to the bottom, and you feel that support no matter what part of the company you're in. You feel the support of the whole family.
My dad, he's worked here for 28 years. My brother, he's been working here for 6 years. I graduated high school, waited till I was 18, saw a job opening, applied, and just kind of staying with it. The company's been huge for my whole family, and possibly maybe my kids one day.
We're not a company of numbers, we're a company of people. I think it comes from Red Emerson. His greatest asset is the people that work for him. It's more than just working here. You know their families, you know what they do, you know their kids play baseball. It's definitely a family operation.
I went to my younger brothers that also works for Sierra Pacific. I looked on the bar stool and I seen his pay stub. I was like, wow, you're making that kind of money? He goes, yeah. And I said, well, the next time they're hiring, then you let me know. That was 14 years ago, and so that's how I got started.
We treat people like family. They aren't just employees. The strength of the company is the people, number one, and that forest resource, number two.
GemCV would like to thank our sponsors: Platinum Level, Sierra Pacific Industries, Tamerloo; Gold Level, Eschaton Village Roseville, Crawford Orthodontics, Damsel in Defense; Silver Level, Ridgeway Family, Far West Rents and Ready Mix, Sylvana Egan, Staples Construction, One Up Construction, Komodo Technology, Empire Gymnastics Center, Ace Body Shop and Towing Incorporated, Cox HR Consulting, Rockstar Music Academy. Thank you for watching GemCV.